G'day doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs Elite Pathways weekly wrap coming from my car as usual. It's going to be a quick one this week. We had no NRL. There was a bye in Host Plus Cup, so only a little bit to talk about. We've got the game coming up against Newcastle, so I'll talk about the changes. No Edo this week, he'll be back soon. We're still working on his top 30 review. Just got to wait for a few more changes to be finalised, and obviously Jake Averillo comes off that for next year, which we're all sad about, but hopefully it pays off. That's what we're hoping for. But yeah, some interesting decisions that are hard for us to understand, but hopefully the people getting paid the big bucks know what they're doing. We can only hope. Anyway, let's move on. Newcastle, Canterbury, very experienced side for the Knights. They're only 1 point ahead of us on the table. We're coming at them after the bye. Only a few changes in our team. So dropping out is Flanagan. Also, Oluwapu is injured with a neck injury. Patolo's injured as well. The new players in Corey Waddell's been dropped. So first time for a while, Corey Waddell's been dropped from the side. So he's lining up in New South Wales Cup. He played there last week. We'll talk a little bit about that game because it was a 15-all draw, which we were lucky to get, and quite disappointing apparently from the people who have reported on the game. We're very lucky to get that draw, and one of our most experienced sides we've fielded. Interesting. This time of year can bring up some performances that aren't too good. There's Origin, teams are busted, teams have got people behind the 8 ball, people coming back from injury, losing Origin players. You've got players who are leaving the club and already know that they're going at this point, or who are looking around and all that sort of stuff. Players being shopped around, the whole shebang. It can create a little bit of drama, and teams that aren't winning games tend to suffer the most. But they do a good job to try and keep it out of the media and stuff. But, you know, this stuff, you'd have to be a bit silly to think it's not affecting the Dogs, who's had clean out after clean out year on year, and expecting that again. It looks like this year is another, it's a trial for the next year, and if we don't get some more sort of signings in key areas in the forwards, which Gould is saying is a priority, but there's not much out there. So it could mean yet another trial period where there's players on 1 and 2 year deals, or that are coming up from our juniors, who really have to work hard to prove themselves to get a position in the future squad. Bit of time being bought at the moment with the rhetoric, but that's understandable. But still, a lot of fans, even the diehards that have, you know, accepted to and been patient, that's starting to wear thin on them as well. Well done to Barley Biondo. He made his comeback. Congratulations, great to see him back. Hopefully see him as part of the first grade squad at some point. I'd also like to say well done to Josh Papali'i getting back into the New South Wales Cup team. It appears that so Wilson spent a couple of weeks there. That's the second sort of time they've mixed the fullback position around in Cup, yet they've kept Hayes Perham in the fullback role in first grade. A lot of fans not too happy about that. Not too much support coming from the fan base for Hayes Perham, so he's got the job ahead of him to change that rhetoric from the fans, and hopefully he can do so against the Knights if he does indeed start and play in the fullback role. But who knows what could happen? They might have a plan for that, and we'll see on match day, but who knows. Ryan Sutton's returned to the first grade squad, so with Patolo's injury, Sutton comes to the bench. Topine is the replacement for Waddell. Harrison Edwards is back after his HIA, and pretty much business as usual. King goes into the starting lineup, and we'll probably see some more changes to this team tomorrow and on Saturday, I'm pretty sure. Raymond Fatala Mariner made his return in New South Wales Cup as well, and that means that it could be a chance of playing in the first grade squad, probably off the bench. He's one that's been a bit behind the 8 ball all season, probably only had 2 games that I'd consider up to his normal standard, and probably under a bit of pressure to sort of like Jacob Preston. A couple of players have gone past Big Ray, and he probably needs to get a move on and start playing to that level that we need him to play at. Okay, so in New South Wales Cup, as I said, Josh Papali's back to the fullback position. He was doing well in flags, come back to New South Wales Cup, so congratulations to him. He was playing really well there, and it was unfortunate for him, but obviously showing a good attitude, and he's back in that role again. Blake Wilson back to the wing in New South Wales Cup, as is Gerald Skelton, with Samrani and Kai Ward, the centres in that side now. Reece Hoffman's been elevated to the first grade bench. Looks like he's put himself in the picture to be a first grader and get a chance potentially if there's an injury or something like that. But I think they do need to rotate those players around that could be playing 18th man and 19th man and that sort of stuff as well. Hastings Deerings will move right along. So Hastings Deerings, they got flogged by the Sunshine Coast Falcons. You'll see who they're coming up against. I won't talk to all that information, but it will be showing up in the background. Sydney Shield, they went all right. The Rams, they lost to Hills District, and Ron Massey Cup, the Bulldogs got flogged by Hills as well. So they'll be looking to turn that around. And Host Plus Cup, the Clydesdales in Host Plus Cup, they actually had a bye for the week. So hopefully they'll come back and get things going this week. So you'll see all the information there, where they're positioned on the table. Jersey Flag are equal first. Roosters ahead on for and against. And we're up there in first position in the New South Wales Cup. With first grade, as I said, 1 point off the Knights. If we can beat the Knights, who've got a very experienced side in, a team that I think could be capable of playing finals if they could put it together. Now Dane Gay Guy's missing from them, so there'll be no cries of Gay Guy is a wanker this week, like there was last year after Origin. But look, I think they've got a very strong side, and the Dogs kicking game at Burton's going to be very important. We really need to limit their kick return meters if we're going to have any chance, and sort of make sure that their forwards are having to run further to get back, and also, you know, have further to go to bring it up the field, because you know, without that kicking game of Burton, it's impossible for our team, it seems, to do anything there defensively. There needs to be massive improvements in that area, and I truly hope for the fans at a core that they can get some success in what they see from the Bulldogs on Sunday at 2 p.m. Some games coming up: the Rabbits before Origin without Origin players, and then after that it's the Broncos at Belmore, which they're missing quite a few players as well, and we'll have some players backing up from Origin hopefully. So that would mean a couple of opportunities for our club. First things first is Newcastle. Hopefully we can get a win there, and that would give us a lot of confidence to play an undermanned South Sydney and undermanned Broncos team, touching wood that we don't lose any more of our players as well. So an opportunity to put a few wins together after the break and after the bye, and if they can do that, all of a sudden we can start talking about a run home, and that would be fantastic for our club. It looks a long way off though. Looking at the last 2 games, I'm not confident at all. I couldn't put my money on my team, and that really sucks. But hopefully the Dogs are able to go out there and really repay the big spend of our fans and loyal fans who have gone out in record numbers and bought memberships, bought numerous jerseys, merchandise. You know, I myself, I'm always doing that. And I'm, you know, there's people out there with who struggle, but they always find a way to you know, to get behind the Bulldogs and get some merch and that sort of stuff. And and the club and the players really need to buckle down and give those people something to cheer for, because what they dished up in the last 2 weeks just wasn't acceptable. And yeah, anyway, easier said than done, and it's easier for me to sit there as a critic or as a coach on the sideline. But you know, I think I echo the thoughts of many fans in saying we want better than what we got in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully the coach has them fired up, and yeah, that's all I can really say about that. Well done to the guys in New South Wales Cup. Also, Lipoy Hopboy will be starting in New South Wales Cup. I'm not sure if that's his first starting position in Cup, but he's a really good player there, and he's one that I think could also come through to first grade and get a taste next year. Hopefully he's in line for a top 30 or something close to that mark. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening in. Hopefully we'll hear from Edo next week. It should be a much bigger week next week, and enjoy the highlights and stuff after this. But yeah, go the Dogs, and yeah, thanks to everyone who supported the channel and supported the Elite Pathways page and All Things Bulldogs page. Really love our little communities.